Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this regular council meeting will come to order. And could we have a certification of a quorum, please?
Mayor Jason Knight,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Randy Haskins,
Here.
Councilmember Ruth Camarillo Smith,
Here.
Councilmember Elise Chacon,
Here.
Councilmember Luana Martin.
Here.
Mayor, there is a quorum of the council present to conduct the meeting.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, now at this time, will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and Donald Votes will give the invocation.
Father, we thank you for this gathering tonight, and we are so grateful for your many blessings that you've seen us through so many difficult times. We ask, Lord, that you would bless our community. We pray for your guidance, your wisdom in this meeting tonight, and for every family represented in our community, Lord, that's maybe struggling with difficult times. We ask for grace and for healing and peace to comfort each one. We ask all these things in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we're moving to presentations, and we have an update on water drought conditions. Peter Zanoni, City Manager of the City of Corpus Christi.
Great, Mayor Knight and City Manager Mary, thank you. And members of the City Council, thank you for having us here tonight. So I'm going to do some general opening comments, and then Nick Winkleman, who spoke the last time, will give you a presentation on our supply projects, okay? So we're glad to be here tonight. One of the things that we will now be doing, since we have advanced to our City Council $1 billion in water supply projects, that took a lot of time, it took a lot of our time and attention. Now it's time to get back out to the community, and so we're glad to be here tonight. This is actually one of our first meetings in the community. We have a town hall, as an example, in Odom next week. We just concluded the meeting with about 8 city manager administrators from 3 different counties. We met in Portland, and we provided them an update as well. So we're glad we're here because it's important the community hears from us. We're the ones that have the best facts on what's going on with our water supply. And we know the community is concerned. We know families, commercial businesses, even large volume users, our industry partners. We have a lot of concerned folks out there. We know that. We think that by having good information, it helps to calm fears a little bit. We know those won't go away until we have enough water for even to water our lawn. So, some key messages tonight is that the drought that has caused this situation continues. This drought, as I said the last meeting, that they're not declared a drought of record until the drought's over. But I'm pretty sure we can declare this a drought of record. It is persistent. It has been going on for 5 years. Some of the results of the drought is our western reservoirs. So Lake Corpus Christi, for the first time ever since it was impounded in 1958, is below 10%. It's never been this low, ever. It's pretty bad, and Lake Texana similarly. Today, the combined reservoirs are at 8.5%. But we know that we shifted our reliance on water from our eastern sources. That includes Lake Texana and the lower Colorado River. But unfortunately, the drought that's gripped this region is now having an effect on Lake Texana as well. And so today, that lake's at 55% capacity, and they go into a curtailment protocol at 50%. So things are pretty rough out there because of this drought. The great news, though, is that City Council, this exact city council that's sitting in Corpus Christi in the recent weeks and months, have approved $1 billion of new water supply projects that will bring 76 million gallons of water to our system from 5 projects, 76 million gallons. That's 76 million gallons more than replaces the western reservoir amounts that we used to rely on. The 76 million gallons includes 3 groundwater projects in Nueces County and 1 in San Patricio County. It also includes a groundwater project it also includes an effluent reuse project in our community using 16 million gallons of what was what is effluent discharge from our wastewater treatment plants. We have some of our industrial customers that will buy that, and instead of using regular water, will use that water instead. We know seawater desalination is important to our water portfolio. The City Council will consider in April advancing the Inner Harbor desalination project. That's the same one that we began under design with Kiewit about a year ago. That's still fully permitted, still fully funded from the state, still has the same location. City Council will take some action for potentially a 60% design contract with the second proposer that we're working with. City Council is also working with the Nueces River Authority on the Harbor Island desalination project. We allocated $2.7 million for 50 million gallons to be reserved for us. And then thirdly, you'll see on our City Council meeting tomorrow, Council will consider Barney Davis site, working with CPS Energy. So those are 3 seawater desalination sites, and as I said before, we need to do 1, 2, or all 3 of them to have a system that's more robust. And with that, before Nick comes up, one of the things that the city and Corpus Christi Water, the team of professionals in that organization, as well as our consultants, are working on is not just getting through this drought. We know it's pretty bad, and we're going to get through it. But we're building a system that will be lasting. This is not a temporary fix. We don't spend $1 billion for temporary fixes. And so this will be a system that we'll have for the future. This is a generational change in how we're running our water business. We shouldn't be here today, but we are. And I can guarantee you that tomorrow and in the future, we won't be here again should we be in another drought like this after we bring on all these water supply projects, plus at least one of, and hopefully more than that, of our seawater desalination. So with that, we appreciate you letting us be here tonight, and thank you for letting us come up front of the agenda. I'm going to have Nick Winkleman, our Chief Operating Officer, provide you an update with some of our projects now, so you'll have a better understanding.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. It's a pleasure to be here tonight again, and it's a pleasure to talk to all of you. Mary, if I could tell you when to turn the slides, is that okay? Or
There you go.
Very good. Okay. So again, I'm Nick Winkleman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Corpus Christi Water. I'm going to go through various water supply projects. I just ask that you keep in mind one simple thing: the work we're doing to diversify our water supply. Currently, the majority of the water, of course, is all surface water, but you'll see in this presentation how we're adding groundwater supplies, we're taking advantage of effluent in terms of reuse and offsetting our demand, and then we are also working very hard on seawater desalination. Next slide. So first, I want to regroup us and put us all in perspective. So every week we have a briefing from the National Weather Service. You'll see something that's on this chart that wasn't on the last time we talked. It was the first one. It's in brown. It says exceptional drought. You can see where our area of Texas, is not entering into extreme drought. It's entering into exceptional drought. The drought conditions continue to worsen, and I'll explain that more on the next slide. This slide might be a little bit hard to read, but the dots on the map show stream flow locations where the U.S. Geologic Survey monitors stream flow. As you can see, there are a number of white dots or clear dots. Those are locations in the watersheds where there is no stream flow. And that includes a couple of areas along the Nueces River. The other dots show that they're at historic lows. In fact, the city manager and I went to Choke Canyon Reservoir just last week to review the reservoir conditions and to meet with the city of Three Rivers. The inflow into Choke Canyon it's awful. I'm not going to mince words. It's absolutely awful. It's almost non-existent. Next slide. Similarly, Lake Texana is also facing historic lows in terms of stream flow or inflow. Currently, this is per LNRA, their reservoir percentage is at 56.6%. The chart on this page is something that the Lavaca-Navidad River Authority, which manages Lake Texana, shares with us weekly. The chart shows that on April 21st, they are expected to be below 50% of their reservoir capacity. At that point, their drought contingency plan requires a 10% curtailment of all of their customers. June 16th, they are expected to get below 40% in their reservoir, which is another 10% curtailment. Those numbers are if there is no more stream flow or no more inflow into Lake Texana. So you could say that's a dire case, a dire warning. However, the National Weather Service has shown us that really the next 3 months we don't have much of an opportunity for rain. And certainly the area has missed its chances for rainfall in the fall and winter, and now we're it's almost through March right now. Next slide. I talked a little bit about Choke Canyon Reservoir. These are pictures of Choke Canyon Reservoir. Both pictures you see some wooded area, some brush areas, some smaller trees. That should be underwater. There shouldn't be new growth trees there. That should be underwater. The picture on the right, we're actually on top of the dam, and you can see the trees off to the right. But that is all supposed to be underwater. Lake Corpus Christi, as the city manager said, is at historic low, 9.7%. Previously, the low was 12.3%. We've blown past that. And then, of course, Choke Canyon Reservoir is at 8.1%. Next slide. So what are we doing? We're doing a lot, and if you could just keep recalling groundwater, effluent reuse, and seawater, we've got to bolt those sources onto our existing surface water supply. So let's talk first about groundwater. City has a number of groundwater projects located in Nueces County. We refer to them as the Eastern Well Field and the Western Well Field. And then just recently, our council has approved a groundwater rights purchase on property adjacent to the Western Well Field. That's near Blunser. We haven't been able to close yet on those groundwater rights, but it's coming, so we're making plans. The Eastern Well Field is complete. There's 8 wells there today. We are pumping into the river. The river is conveying the water to the Owen Stevens water treatment plant. That is something that the city did in the 80s, 90s. They did that previously, pumped wells into the river to supplement the river flow and convey it to Owen Stevens. One of the things with that Eastern Well Field is there are some operational challenges associated with our TCQ bed and banks permit. What's going on is because Lake Corpus Christi, the water levels continue to drop. We're seeing diminished water quality coming out of the lake. That water quality consists of higher than normal total dissolved solids. It's also consisting of arsenic. Again, that's coming out of Lake Corpus Christi. The water wells themselves are non-detecting arsenic, except for one particular well, which is equal to the limit. So we're confident. We know the wells are improving the river quality in terms of arsenic. And the other thing I'd like to say, the water quality from Corpus Christi water continues to meet all regulatory standards. In fact, the Corpus Christi water was just tested by TCQ, and it's a non-detect from arsenic. All that being said, I just want to express the challenges we're facing with the river as it continues to drop and decline. The Western Well Field is near Blunser, Texas. That well field consists of 250 acres that our council approved purchase in 2025. We have 4 wells that are ready and equipped with permanent pumping equipment to turn online. We have another 2 wells that will be fully complete by the end of March. And then we have 6 additional wells that will come online gradually through April and into May. We cannot run those wells yet because we don't have a bed and banks permit from TCQ. We are working with them. TCQ has been very helpful to us, and we're thankful for that. But we're still waiting for the process to give us our bed and banks permit to allow us to pump into the Nueces River to add additional flow into the river. The other thing to note, and I've told you this last time, but the state of Texas is supporting our projects. They provided us with a $30 million grant for those 2 well fields. We're very appreciative of that. Next slide. So I explained earlier that the plan was to take the well water and pump it in the river, which conveys it to our water treatment plant. We're taking it a step further. Council has approved us to negotiate a contract on brackish groundwater RO. We are developing and designing and bringing in modular reverse osmosis treatment equipment that will be placed at the Owen Stevens water treatment plant. The groundwater, approximately 24 million gallons a day, will be pumped from the western well field to Owen Stevens. It's about 13 miles. It does a couple of things for us. One, it eliminates losses in the river. We lose about 7% of water to just typical losses in the river. Geologists call that carriage losses or carrying losses. So allow us to prevent that from happening, and then allow us to treat that water with reverse osmosis at Owen Stevens, and then blend it with our other treated water from our other sources. Next slide. We are working fast. Our council has approved. We are negotiating contracts with multiple contractors to furnish and install that 36-inch water line from the western well field to Owen Stevens. The current schedule is for that to be complete by the end of the calendar year. So that would allow us to convey the water to Owen Stevens, and then the treatment equipment would come online thereafter. Next slide. So when you look at the delivery of treated water from those groundwater sources, so the total would be to treat 24 million gallons a day. There's an 85% recovery, which equals 21.3 million gallons a day. That process comes online gradually. The first units would come online in 11 months. So it's January, February timeframe. And we would start ramping up our treatment capabilities of the groundwater, over the time period shown on the slide. Next slide. The Evangeline Groundwater Project. This is our San Patricio County groundwater project. We talked about this last time we were here. A lot has happened since then, and a lot continues to happen. Just a brief overview of the project. It is, we are going to construct 22 wells on approximately 23,000 acres of land in San Patricio County. It includes a connection to the Mary Roads pipeline. The property itself sits adjacent to the pipeline, which allows us to use the pipeline to convey that water to Owen Stevens. It's a tremendous savings on infrastructure costs as well as time, which we all need right now. If you could go to the next slide. What's going on? There's a lot of things going on. The thing I want to express upon you is the city has not stopped its efforts to develop that project. The project will be a full 60% design by the end of the month. We have construction trailers moving into the property early to mid-April. We have water line pipe being fabricated. They started today. That's primarily the HDPE pipe, the large diameter pipe. All of that is ongoing. We continue to work with the surface landowners on surface use agreements, which are primarily complete. That allows us to get on site to construct water lines, construct roads, bring in power, get everything ready for the drilling. What we don't have yet are drilling permits from the Groundwater Conservation District. What we do have is a production permit that says the Groundwater Conservation District has approved us to produce approximately 24 million gallons a day from that site. However, there are a number of people who are protesting those drilling permits, and that's what we're working through right now. The Groundwater Conservation District will hire an administrative law judge who will set up a preliminary hearing to determine which of the 3 remaining protestants have standing. We feel very confident in our project because it's meeting every single rule of the Groundwater Conservation District. We've exceeded well spacing by 3 times what the rules are. And in addition to all of that, we've worked together to put together a very in-depth operational protocol that provides assurances to the area well owners and the City of Sinton and the St. Paul Water Supply Corporation that we will drastically cut back the production of the 5 wells nearest their wells. We will manage the water supply at certain levels, meaning when our surface water supplies are at a certain percentage, we will only use that well field to meet a certain percentage of our demand. So we're self-imposing operating limits on that well field also, all in an effort to work together with the area and ensure that we are not affecting the operation of any other wells. Additionally, we have stated repeatedly that we will absolutely mitigate any issues that are caused from the operation of our well field. Next slide. Okay, that's groundwater. Let's talk about wastewater. Wastewater is very important. The city has 6 wastewater treatment plants, the city of Corpus Christi. The effluent, the treated water coming from those wastewater plants is currently being discharged. We're going to put that to good use. We're working with some of our large volume users who can use that effluent wastewater and decrease their use of potable water from our system. Those include Valero. We signed a very significant contract with Valero earlier this year, which actually requires them to spend approximately $100 million of new infrastructure. And at the completion of that project, all of that infrastructure will be conveyed over to the city. At its completion, Valero will be using 8 million gallons a day of effluent. Additionally, we're working with Flint Hills Resources. Our contract with Flint Hills has them the ability to use up to 3 million gallons a day. And then we've got ongoing contract negotiations with Citgo and other entities as well. The goal is to utilize approximately 16 to 19 million gallons a day of effluent water in place of potable water. That's a significant reduction of our demand. Next slide. Okay, we talked groundwater, effluent, reuse. I gave you an update on surface water. Now let's talk seawater. So the Inner Harbor location, it's fully permitted. We have low interest loans from the Texas Water Development Board. The plant itself is located 3 miles away from the navigation pump station. Whenever you think about seawater desalination, please think about how you're going to get that water into the system to get to where it needs to go. This is the shortest path and the quickest path to get it into our distribution system. Our council has authorized city staff to negotiate with the Corpus Christi desal partners, that's the number 2 proposer of this project, to bring back a contract for execution in April, in the April timeframe. That will be a progressive design build contract. The first portion of the contract would be to design the plant to 60%, develop a guaranteed maximum price, and to complete the demonstration plant. The demonstration plant is required to fill TCEQ requirements so that the plant can be permitted as a water treatment plant. We're very excited about that, and we're working really diligently to bring that back to council in April. Next slide. Harbor Island, as the city manager said, that is a project sponsored by the Nueces River Authority. However, the city of Corpus Christi is supportive of that project, and we've supported it in the amount of $2.7 million. That is a reservation fee to have access to 50 million gallons a day that we can add to our supply and have available for our customers. The project, again, is being managed by the Nueces River Authority. We are working closely with them. As a supporter of the project, we are able to collaborate with them and discuss the alignment of the conveyance line. So I talked about how important conveyance is of seawater to get it into the system. So we are able to work with their engineers to try and determine the best path and best route to get that water into our system. They do, the Harbor Island project, they do have a draft intake permit that is in hand. So they're working through that process with TCEQ. Next slide, please. And that concludes the formal slides, but I know the city manager and I will stand by for questions.
Have anything?
I don't have any questions.
I guess, well, I know one thing that's been bothering everybody is what's the curtailment date look like now? I know last time we were here it was November. Is that moving closer to right now, or is it still November?
Yes, sir, Mayor, I can talk to that.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's mentioned what the curtailment date was, but it's really the date of what is defined as level 1 water emergency.
Right.
So what does level 1 water emergency mean? The date of the level 1 water emergency is when we are 180 days away from supply not meeting demand. That doesn't mean we don't have water. It means we don't have enough to fully meet the projected demand. So what we will present at our council meeting tomorrow are a number of different scenarios. And as I walk through those projects, all of you know there's a lot of things that got to happen, right?
Oh, yeah.
What did he say? He talked about a bed and banks permit that we got to get in hand. He talked about permits for the Evangeline project that we got to get in hand. He talked about bringing on effluent reuse to offset demand. So what we did under the direction of City Manager Zanoni, we were challenged to put together multiple scenarios that explain what could happen when these things occur, or if they're delayed, or if they don't happen at all.
Right.
So what we're going to present tomorrow is a number of different scenarios, and I liken it to a hurricane model. So when a hurricane's coming, you've got your European model, you got your U.S. model. There's about 5 models or so,
Right.
and they all have different dates. Each of these scenarios will have different dates, and what we will do is explain the factors affecting each date. Things change. You know, we
Right.
had a meeting with some of our partners this morning that essentially changed one of the scenarios that I'll be showing tomorrow. So I'll have to update that as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, anybody else have any questions?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Sir.
Let me just add to the mayor's comment. So we're going to show council for the first time tomorrow, so that's why we're not talking about it tonight.
Right, right,
But that November projection is the best case scenario.
right.
And I can tell you that actually improved to
Okay.
where there is no need to call a level 1 emergency. And so that's one of the scenarios. The 4 other ones are not as good as that one.
Right.
Some of them push not November, but a few months prior to November. Some are even closer than that.
Okay.
And so it goes from the best case, which is used to be November, now there is no calling of it, all the way to what happens if we can't bring on the 17 million in the Western Wellfield.
Right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
we'll be showing that to City Council live tomorrow.
Okay.
And the media will cover it. We can come back and explain it to you as well.
Yeah, great. Oh, yeah, I'll definitely
Yes,
keep
sir.
in touch
We'll
with
be
you.
glad to do that.
I have a comment to make. With all due respect, please understand, I mean, you were just here just a few months ago
Right.
and talked about water and having things set in place and so forth. Today, you're sitting here basically telling us the same thing. You all need to understand that our constituents are losing a lot of faith in you guys.
Right.
in retrospect, they're losing faith in us in being able to fix the water issue. It's very concerning, and I would honestly like to know what took so long, because last I saw, we're talking maybe running out of water in May, which is far off from November, and people are screaming, what are we going to do about water? If we do run out of water, is the city of Corpus going to subsidize our constituents for your inequities, your inabilities to provide water to our people?
Right, yeah, so we have made progress, and maybe it wasn't clear in the presentation. So since we've been here, we have been, our eastern well field is online. We're pumping about 4 to 5 million gallons. The western well field is days away from producing more water. And that one will produce a total of 17 million gallons, so that's coming. The third project is it's an adjacent project to the western well field. The city council paid $38 million for additional groundwater rights. There's one well already ready to produce water, and another one's being drilled by the seller, and a few more. So that's in the coming 1 to 2 months. And then the longer lead one is the Evangeline. All these are consistent with what we told you before, and we understand. That's why we're here, so we can take these questions and try to give feedback. So water's coming on. More of it's coming on in the next couple of months, and more comes on in November, and then all of it comes on within that 2-year time frame, all of the projects Nick just went over. So that hasn't changed. It's the same update. What has changed is there could be a slowing of producing some of this water, not because of what we're doing. All of our projects are either complete, under design, or under construction. The hang-up, unfortunately, is permits, and just one little piece of paper is holding up some of these projects. Whether it be in San Patricio County or at some of the state regulatory agencies. So everything is moving just like we said it would, and we're not hoping, that's not a good word in this water situation. We're working to get the best outcome. Some things we don't control, and we're still working through those as well. So one thing we haven't said is we have a lot of help behind us from the state. That includes the governor, our legislative delegation, they're helping as well. And so you're going to start to see some updated information quicker than what we would get otherwise through the normal processing, permit processing. That's coming. So.
Is there, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
is there any reason to believe that you won't get access to those permits that for the Evangeline project? Is there any reason to think that, or is it just a delay for those permits?
Right. So the permit applications were submitted months ago to the groundwater district.
Mm-hmm.
There were 4 protestants, and so when there's a protestant on a water application like that, you have to go through a process. Of the 4 protestants, one was the city of Sinton, the other was the community of St. Paul Water Corporation.
Okay. There
was a farmer in Sinton who protested, and a resident in Corpus Christi who protested officially to the district by the time they had to. Since that time, the resident of Corpus Christi withdrew their protest.
Okay.
We have met just about every week with the farmer in Sinton. He also is the board chair of the groundwater district. And we've developed 2 alternative management plans to try to see if that would relieve his concerns. To this date, it hasn't. And we continue to try to work with the city of Sinton, who you may have seen the news reports, but at this point has been non-approachable. They won't talk to us. They're delaying the administrative hearing to determine whether or not they have standing, as they call it. Was supposed to be back in April 1 or April 2nd. March 2nd, not April. And so we're pushing, almost 2 months when we could have easily had a hearing with a judge to determine does Sinton have standing. We don't think they do, because the production permit was approved 6 years ago. So it's a lot tougher to prove you have standing on where the well goes. Okay. And as Nick said, we're making sure our wells are 3 to 4 times the distance of their nearest well. So we need a judge, though, to tell us, after they look at the merits through what could be an all-day hearing, to determine do they have standing or not. If the judge says they don't have standing, or if Sinton wanted to withdraw their protests, which would benefit the region, if they wanted to do that, I don't know if they will, If they withdraw, if the judge says you don't have standing, then the permits are relatively soon.
Okay.
However, if the judge says no, Sinton has standing, then it could take years. Could take 2 years,
Okay.
is what they've told us. So, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, our constituents, they're not going to be happy or appeased until they see the water levels start to come up.
I believe, I agree.
And I do appreciate your response, but could you
Yeah.
please answer the question, will you be subsidizing our constituents in the event we run out of water? And how?
Yeah, so no. So the answer is if this if this level 1 emergency, or if the event happens where something happens in one of these projects to where supply won't meet demand, then as a region, and that's why we need to really start coming here more just for planning purposes. As a region, we're not gonna have the water to supply today's daily demand, and we have to work through what does that mean. Our industrial customers, like the Exxons and the Valeros and the Flint Hills, they use 50 to 60% of the water every day. So we're working with them right now on what their curtailment plan would look like. So they would have to cut back. But state law requires all classifications to cut back equally. But we've been working with them for months. In fact, we have another meeting Wednesday with the large volume users. It's about a dozen of them. They're gonna have to draw down their reduction. Residential and commercial accounts should also, it's gonna have to be all on the honor system. Everybody's gonna have to manage it together. We don't have valves to turn people's water off, so it's, we're not quite there yet on explaining this, and so we have a draft plan, and what we're working on now is what does it look like in total. And just to give it an example, when a hurricane hits this region, we know how to prepare, right? This area is phenomenal in preparation and response. We've never been in a drought situation like this before, ever. So as a city manager, I can't rely on the manual that the last city manager did. So we have a baseline, but we're gonna develop that out, and we need community input, like this community right here, to talk to you about what does that mean. But there is no more water to subsidize if we have to drop a little bit. And we understand we're the regional water provider, so it makes it a little more complex. We're not just talking to Corpus Christi folks, we're talking to a 7-county region.
Sure, and also, thank you for mentioning heavy industrial.
Yeah.
Because last time when you were here, I asked you how much they're going to pay in comparison to what we were paying as residents and so
Right.
forth. And you flat out said, yes, they were going to pay more
Yeah.
per water.
Right.
The report that I saw, I think they're paying half a cent, maybe a cent more.
No, I've been here for 7 years. I think it was 3 years ago, we for the first time in decades, set their rates right. So prior to that, they were paying 50% of what they are paying today. That's no lie, 50%. We doubled the rates for large volume users. And so today they pay on a cost basis model, they pay their fair share. The only thing they might not pay is for our customer call center, because they don't use it. So our rates are based from a consultant that works across the state of Texas for numerous water agencies. And they pay the same rate for raw water, for transmission, for distribution, for cleaning and preparing the water, for the water supply as everybody does. Now that was not the case, but today they do, and that's something that we did about 3 years ago. Yeah, and it was
Okay.
literally that they were paying 50%.
Right, and I'm not disputing that
Yeah,
at all.
right.
And I do appreciate that because that shows your due diligence.
Right.
But in comparison to what we pay is pretty much the same thing, even though it's 50% more than they were paying.
Yeah.
They're paying half a cent to maybe a cent more than we're paying, but yet they use 50% of the water. I don't see how that makes sense.
Yeah, well, okay, I see what you're saying, but based on volume, because they buy so much, they pay, there's more revenue coming in from them.
Mhm.
And so that's true, but we do not have a cost escalator. If you buy more, you pay more proportionately. Like the rate doesn't go up for every kind of tranche of water you buy, but they do pay more. They pay per 1,000 gallons just like everybody else does.
Right,
So,
but
yeah.
when you were here in November, you told me they were paying more.
They do pay. No, they don't pay more. They pay more. They provide more money to the system because they buy more water. Yeah.
Right, but the rate they pay is equivalent to what we're paying.
It
And a
is.
lot of us.
That's correct. With
Okay.
the exception of, I think about most of them pay an additional now 31 cents per thousand, known as that drought exemption fee. So they do pay more voluntarily. That's been going on for 8 years. It generates about $6 million in revenue. And that's a voluntary surcharge that they agreed to pay 8 years ago, and they're still paying it. It just recently went up to 31 cents per thousand. So that generates about $6 million. So in that case, I guess they do pay more.
All right,
And
thank
that's-
you so much.
You're welcome, thank you. And we understand, Councilwoman, the concern of the resident. That's why we're now shifting from developing and taking projects to city council, which has taken a lot of time,
Sure,
to getting out in the
absolutely.
community, just making sure they understand. We understand. We live here too. I'm just as afraid as the resident when I turn all my water on, whether it's the kitchen sink or the shower or the laundry, and we know it. And we've been working tirelessly for 5 years, really, but especially the last 2 to 3, to get out of this situation. And we're close to getting out of it. It's just this last couple of months before we finally do that. So
We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Peter. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I've been to a couple of City of Corpus Christi meetings, and first of all, Lulu, great for backing us up. I appreciate that. And the citizens of Corpus Christi didn't want the desal unit. I understand why. Your wastewater recycle, love it, great idea. Desal, I have some questions, and we're not letting the council know, and I think you were getting around to that question, is so if the industry takes 60%, which is around 60%, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if the water runs out, do they get cut off and we get life, or do we not get life and it goes to the industry? I mean, life is water. I don't care how much money, government monopoly money he gives you. I want to know if we're going to get water which sustains us and not the industry. That's my first question. Second one is if we do approve, or if the City of Corpus Christi does approve, even though the citizens don't want it, which I think is wrong, the desal unit, it's going to produce a lot of brine. That brine's going to settle at the bottom of the bay, and that bay moves slow. So what happens to that brine? It's going to create a hypoxia, right? It's going to become hypoxic for your shrimp, for your oysters. Once they die, what dies next?
Fish.
Fish die, right? So what's going to happen to the ecosystem? So that's mine. So that's 2 questions. One is if the water starts running out, are you going to gut the industry, or are you going to let the people live? Because that's your choice. You either feed the people, or you give people water and they survive, or you don't and we die. And again, I don't care how much monopoly money they give you. Money's useless, right? Water's life. And my second question is on the desal. What are you going to do about the eco if it does pass?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so state law, we have to follow state law when it comes to water sales. And so we have 3 types of customers: residential, commercial, and large volume users. If we have to go into a reduction in use mode, known as curtailment, then equally across the board, it has to be applied. So we can't tell industry, we're going to cut you 50%, and we're going to cut residents nothing, or 10%. So we have to set a reduction in use rate, and that has to be applied to everybody. The good news, to the gentleman's point, is industry is a large user. So if we reduce them a percentage, it's going to generate a lot of water that can be used by the other customer classifications. The industry is aware of this. You know, they're aware they're a large user, and they're aware of community responsibility. I will say also, though, that they generate jobs, and they have told us that if they have to use less water because of this, it could have some devastating impacts on the economy, because they have to shut down whole units.
Yep.
It's just not a matter of making a few barrels less of oil or gasoline. I mean, they have to shut off whole units for safety reasons. So it's equally across the board, and that's what we have to follow, because we could be sued otherwise by, you know. But we understand the gentleman's point about, you know, it's really, and that's the Councilwoman Martin's points as well, that, you know, people matter. And then with respect to desal, that would be a long meeting to get too much into it, but we are doing a far field study, and those are open to the public. Come on up to the 6th floor at City Hall. And so we're doing what they call a far field model, which is studying the area right by the desal plant and then the entire bay, not just the Corpus Christi Bay, but the Nueces Bay and the ship channel. And we're modeling with a consultant. It's on tomorrow's City Council agenda. It's a $300,000 contract. They're going to model what's the impact of the discharge, and does it have an issue on the salinity, on the temperature, and they're going to do some initial analysis on oxygen, which is the hypoxia deal. So we're studying it closely. I asked for it. This will be the first time the city has ever taken the lead. The Port of Corpus Christi did a far field study, and our prior Kiewit contractor did one, but the city never asked for one. And so I asked for one. I said, you know what, I'm gonna ask for one. It's a $300,000 study, once and for all. It's gonna tell us, will this plant in this location have an issue? It's not just a study being done and then presented to City Council. We have 19 community members, everything from somebody who lives in Hillcrest, somebody from NAACP, several from the universities, one from the A&M Institute, that's not far from here, or UT, I'm sorry, UT Institute, that I believe is here, right, or is it? Port Aransas. Several professors from A&M as well. So they are working with the modeler, and they are going to have to make a recommendation to City Council on what they believe the modeler's study says. So that's going to be important. Yes, sir. But those meetings are open to the public. Should be on our website. The next one should be in a couple of weeks. So the real good meetings. The last one was 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, guys.
Okay.
All right, and
Okay, thank you. We'll come back again. We'll work with the mayor and city manager, because our next step will be, and the unfortunate part is talking just in case. We're not saying we're getting there, but just like any hurricane, we want to make sure we're prepared, and we know that. And so we're going to come back soon, maybe the next 2 to 4 weeks, to start talking about that. Not to scare, but just so you are aware of what does it mean if we did hit a level 1 emergency.
yeah, and I can
Okay.
give you a call in about 3 weeks, and we
Okay.
can go from there.
That sounds great. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I guess at this time we're going to take a 10-minute recess.
Oh. I'll take I have a question.
Okay, we're going to reconvene from the recess, and now we're going to move into announcements.
Mary, I also, this is where the council can make an announcement too, right? Or statement?
Yes.
Do I do it after the?
You can do it. We've got 2 announcements, so we could wait until after these 2 announcements.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll be quick. I hope y'all are doing hope y'all are doing all right.
Good time.
So we're gonna do our annual Easter egg hunt. This year will be a little bit different. Jen
you-
Stacy came up with
Could you please introduce yourself for
Oh.
those that don't know
Oh
you?
yeah, sorry. All y'all don't know me. I'm Malik Jones, the Director of Community Enrichment.
Thank you.
Like I was saying, we're going to do our Easter egg hunt March 29th from 1 to 3 over at the Civic Center. We're going to do a little bit different. It'll be a glow-in-the-dark theme. So it'll be a little bit something that's a little bit fun, a little bit different. The council was nice enough to donate about 140 baskets, so we appreciate that, along with about 8,000 eggs that we got. So we got plenty, so y'all guys come on out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Okay. And then the next announcement is simply to announce the next cleanup day. So instead of hosting the free day at the transfer station, we're now going to have citywide cleanup day, and that's for residents only. The first cleanup day is going to be on Saturday, April the 26th, and it's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. The location to gather is at 533 West Cleveland, and that's across from the Dairy Queen.
Mary,
ma'am.
so Sunday, April 26th is my birthday. So do you mean Saturday,
I'm
April
sorry,
25th?
Saturday, April 26th.
No, 25th.
Oh, okay.
It should say, I believe 25th, because I know I'll be out of town. so
Okay,
I-
I apologize for
Yes,
that.
25th.
If Saturday is the
25th.
25th, then
Yep.
it is the 25th, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
9 to 1.
Yes, from 9 to 1.
So what kind of items will we be cleaning?
Is Tito here?
It's right there.
Tito.
Come on.
Can you just clarify what we'll be picking up or cleaning on that day?
What kind of items can be taken to the,
Bring my flyer though, but it's just pretty much anything besides like batteries.
So people were bringing it to the location
Mhm.
No
instead of
ti-
going to the transfer station?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
tires, no tires,
no
right?
tires, no batteries, no oil, anything like that, no paint, stuff like that. But
Okay.
anything else though.
Are we
we'll take.
just gonna have the dumpsters across from Dairy Queen? Because I know sometimes y'all set them up over by, somewhere by DeBerry, don't you?
Yeah, we were
Are we
thinking
good?
about that, but we'd rather just put them all in one. Frontier works very good with us, so we can store them over there at the transfer station, and then we can just swap
That'd be
them
easier.
out. Yeah.
What about mattresses and furniture?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can't do mattresses and furniture?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Didn't you have a tire one scheduled?
That's not until like,
I think June,
June,
that is,
like
I
June,
think
I
June the
think.
6th.
June?
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
cool. All right, thank you, Tito.
Thank you.
Okay, now
Okay.
you have an announcement, yes.
yes. It's more of a statement, but Mr. Isasi, I would like to address something that has been circulating publicly. There have been allegations made suggesting that a council member of this council, specifically Miss Mary Elise Chacon, has a conflict of interest with the harbor developer. Because these allegations have been repeated publicly, I believe it is important that they are addressed clearly and directly. As the city attorney, you have reviewed the relevant documents and matters pertaining to this issue. So I would like to ask you directly, based on your review, is there any conflict of interest involving council member Mary Elise Chacon and any harbor developer?
To answer your question, in review of the, am I speaking loud enough?
No.
You get a microphone.
In review of the information that's provided to me regarding this potential conflict, you look at Chapter 171 of the Local Government Code, which kind of governs conflict of interest for elected officials. In this case, and I'm not going to mention names, okay?
No.
But you've mentioned, I'm just going to say a council member in this case. The information that I have, any potential leases are not with the investor himself, right?
Okay.
Or from the information that I've been provided, that lease between an employee, not the investor himself, right? Which does not fall within one of the prohibitions under 171, right? The investor is not a party to this lease, right? As far as the information that I have, the investor has no interest in it. And the council member receives no direct payment from that investor. For those reasons, based on the information I have, there is no conflict of interest.
Okay. I would hope that this clarification from our attorney, the city's legal counsel, will finally put these rumors to rest once and for all. As council members, we routinely consult with our city attorney on matters that may involve legal interpretation and potential conflicts. We do this specifically to ensure that we operate within the law and uphold ethical standards expected for us. All of us do. We respect the professional opinions and guidance provided by our city attorney, and I believe it is important for the public to hear that clarification directly. Thank you, Mr. Isasi.
I did want to add a little bit more that, again, from the information that I have, this is not what's at play, but a potential conflict could arise under a scenario if that investor controls that employee's LLC. Am I making myself clear? Okay. Or if the LLC is acting as an alter ego or conduit between the investor and the council member. In other words, clearly a violation, trying to circumvent that. Right? But that's not the situation that we have, or at least the information that I have, or the documentation that I've seen.
Okay.
Now, if something develops in the future that shows something like this, then it could pose a conflict of interest. Again, if we can show that the investor has control of that LLC, or the LLC is acting as an alter ego or conduit in this situation. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have information that would negate that. Approximately two weeks or so ago, I spoke with Wes Doolin of Redfish Bay.
At this point, I'm gonna, and I respect what your comments you want to make, but I just need to caution you that at this point, let's not mention investors' names personally, or there's something that we can discuss, maybe in executive session. But
I didn't bring it up, sir. She did.
I conferred with my legal counsel before I made my statement to ensure that I was,
But as far as
that it was legal
representations
and
being
appropriate
made,
for me to make.
representations being made by other individuals, I think that those are matters that need to be discussed
I'll
in
rest.
executive
Go
session.
ahead. Move on.
I have an announcement. So Saturday, we had a town hall meeting, which was very enlightening, and it was nice to have about 40 members of our community come out. Mary did mention that we would be having other meetings. I myself was not feeling well at all, no excuse. Ruth Camarillo Smith had prior arrangements with family, so she was not able to make it. So I would like to schedule a second meeting to discuss and get further clarification from our constituents, what they would like to see on the intercoastal side of the harbor, as well as talk about STRs a little bit further. And I'm looking for like either a Wednesday or a Thursday. That way we free up our weekends, and that way we can knock this out and get better clarification, and we can move forward in whichever way we decide to do and our constituents want us to do.
And you're talking about the entire harbor, not just the
The
intercoastal?
entire harbor.
Okay.
Correct.
Are you requesting a town hall meeting?
Yes, I'm requesting another town hall meeting here at City Hall, either Wednesday, April 8th or Thursday, April 9th, and 6 o'clock works great for me.
It works for
I would
me
like
too.
to know if that works for my other city council members as well. That way we can all be here. And maybe, we can have an opportunity for more people who weren't able to come because it was the weekend, can actually come to this town hall meeting and voice their opinions as well.
Okay, well, let me work on scheduling a meeting either for the 8th or the 9th at 6 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have any more announcements?
No.
Okay. Okay, now we're gonna move into citizens' comments.
Hello, Council. My name is Larissa Rios, 1044 South Commercial. I just wanted to thank everybody. This past Wednesday, we had the community garden had our first annual spring break bash, and this was truly a community effort. We had almost everyone from every corner of Aransas Pass offer donations, support, and food donations so that we can make this event happen for our local spring breakers and out-of-towners. We even had some out-of-towners. We had about 88 just kids come through our scavenger hunts, and so it was I would say it was over 100 people show up, and this event was put together in about 2.5 weeks, and I want to thank our AP Civic Center, Malik and his team. They were excellent. I want to thank our AP Police Station, especially Chief Perkins, and I also want to thank Leanne as well. It was so great. Thank you for crosswalking that last hour. That was awesome. I appreciate that. And then we also had our library, our Ed and Hazel library, be involved as well, to Miss Lillian Villarreal and her team. And then of course the AP Community Garden and our AP Fire Department and Lindsay Truitt as well. And I just wanted to say thank you, because we had such an incredible outpouring of support after the event, and saying that it was so fun, it was free, and the games were really cool, and it could not have been done without the support of Aransas Pass. And so I thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mia.
Larissa.
Mia, it was a great event. It was really, really nice. I hope you do it every year. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to building on it.
I'm
Absolutely.
sorry I was out of town.
No.
It's okay, but you were there.
Y'all had a
I
great
was
show
there in
up
spirit
too.
with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, anybody? Oh.
I'll let you go.
All right, council. Let's stir the pot some more.
Uh-oh.
Randy Haskins, council seat 4, Chief Perkins. I talked to you guys about investigating the mother who was tased several times. I did an internal investigation, #internal, right? Bullshit. And both of y'all know what probable cause is, and in the case, both of y'all said there was probable cause to arrest. Again, bullshit. Both officers on the video, if you watch the video, it tells a different story. They said they watched the entire video. Bullshit. The video shows no crime because no cops witnessed the crime. Check. The officer admits on camera they never spoke to the eyewitness. Check. How do you get probable cause? Never gonna tell me right, because you know you're full of shit, and you know you're full of shit. All right. Randy then falsely claimed that the witness identified the mother wearing a gray sweatshirt. Well, the witness statement doesn't say that, Randy. I told you about it. You said what? Couldn't back it up. I said, okay. But you said it doesn't matter because she took a plea. Why did she take a plea, Randy? Because she's poor. What happens when you're poor? The government assigns you with an attorney that works for the fucking government. What are they going to do? They want that money. She's got to take a plea, right? Because she can't afford anything. Scared little girl had to take a plea. Shame on you. Right. Shortly after that, and this is a quote from Randy Haskins, he got pissed off at me for telling him exactly what was true, because you're a lying SOB. Quote, "Don't fuck with me, Jason."
You watch your language.
No, sir. I'm talking. That's interrupting my meeting. I'm talking. Jason, handle it.
Hang on. Yeah.
Pause
hang
my
on.
time. Rewind it. I have to read a direct quote.
Watch your language.
Hang
I'm
on.
reading the direct quote.
Hang on. While we're at the podium, we're going to let him address what his concerns are.
Thank you. This is a direct quote from him, not me. "Don't fuck with me, Jason. You will lose. Oh, shit. I just remembered. Regarding me going to trial," Randy said, "I just remembered. I was offended in that meeting. It all came back now. Thanks for jogging my memory." That message speaks directly from counsel saying he will commit perjury on the stand to go against me for calling him out on his BS. If anybody wants to represent him and make him a council member again, shame on you. Who's ever running against him, get with me. He won't be in that seat next year. You're gone.
Sorry, that was a direct quote. You can read it. No, I understand that. I just have a 13-year-old daughter here.
Okay.
Well, that's on your council member, not me.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
I hope to be a little bit pleasanter. My name is Matt. This is my wife, Tamara Elvin. We're on South Whitney Street. I want to thank you guys. I've seen a vast improvement. We moved here 2 years ago to get away from the cold during the winters and also to operate some businesses. We weren't able to attend the short-term rental meeting Saturday because we were on spring break. So there was no way to get over here at the time. But I did watch the video twice, and I wanted to correct some of the information that was given out as fact or presented as possible fact. That was not. The first is, excuse me, I'll need my glasses. Right now, the city's in severe financial need. And as we fall behind, farther and farther behind, our schools suffer. Right now, our school is a C+. People moving to the area aren't coming for C+ schools. They're not going to invest in this community in that manner. The harbor itself, if you look at the math of the short-term rentals, at $400 to $700 a night for a room, and I know people are saying, nah, they won't be that expensive. When you add in all the costs that are added by the management companies, they are that much. And I can tell you as a fact that we just rented the last 4 nights for $500 a night. Bringing in 8 to 10 people on every night with 3 to 4 DoorDashes arriving every night. The statement is at $2.50 for every dollar in lodging is what we'll bring in by short-term rentals. Our impact on this community just from renting is about $25,000 a year on one house. If you look at that and putting in many, many more, you're going to see the $7 to $8 million that Ms. Chacon mentioned that would come into this community. Lawn keeping, spa keeping, pool cleaning, housekeeping, management services. All this comes into the community. The hot taxes alone should bring that up to about $8,000 just from our place alone. I would ask you, review that very closely. We have caught our management company making mistakes in giving the hot taxes to Port Aransas, and I have corrected that. The charter, I had some comments that the harbor can never be touched. It's owned by the citizens, and it will never go anywhere else. But having lived all over the country and watched communities go into bankruptcy, which happens quite often in these economic times, the harbor is not safe. It will be the first asset sold off to investors to pay for the bankruptcy. The council needs to be very aware as you move forward. You need to start generating some income. $29 million, and that's a minimum. In debt can come to bite us very quick if we have to go to a bankruptcy status. The last thing I have is I witnessed, I don't know if you know it, and you just called for another town hall meeting. Town hall meetings under Robert's Rules of Order are special sessions of the board. They must be given notice, and I believe it's 30 days. But
It's 4 business days.
it's only 40 for a special council?
It's 4 business days.
Oh, okay, I was off on that one. But they are special councils, and you did have a quorum. You took a vote, an illegal vote. And it was a structured vote by saying how many are opposed to. Your votes cannot be structured to solicit an answer and to intimidate a group of people. It should have been yay or nay vote. If you're gonna have one, it should have never been voted on. There is some questions whether that was a legal vote, but because of Robert's Rules of Orders, an argument can be made that that was a legal vote. And I would ask that the council recognize that that was not a legal vote and abolish any and all information regarding that vote and use it in the future. The people who would have been there had it not been done on spring break may have been the people who were on spring break and who were fiscally able
So
to
your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Please come
Thank
back
you.
on April 8th or 9th.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the information.
Will Garner, 2009 West Wheeler Avenue, Lot 86. Everybody keeps saying we need someone to develop the harbor. Someone is trying to do that, and because it isn't the exact version, if you imagine someone ready to toss the whole thing overboard, that's not leadership, that's moving the goalpost. What I saw at the town hall on Saturday didn't look like teamwork. I saw yelling. I saw my way or the highway. I saw wording of votes being twisted to force the results the person wanted. I saw both sides putting out just enough information to divide the town instead of inform it before Saturday even happened. We can't build anything on that foundation. So let's try something different. Let's do something this town hasn't seen in a long time. Listen. Listen to the citizens. Listen without trying to win the argument before the conversation even starts. Here's what I heard loud and clear. Most citizens do not work short-term rentals on the water. Fine, put them on the hills. They still bring revenue, support growth, and don't take up the shoreline people value. If we want the harbor to be an asset, let's explore a true entertainment boardwalk on that small piece of waterfront, an active family-friendly destination with games, ride, dining, and shops. Bring laughing businesses to the air without sacrificing the shoreline people care about. Just as an example. Stop using citizens as pawns in petty fights. End the posturing, sit down, compromise, and get to work for the good of the town. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Will.
you, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Okay, does anybody else have anything wish to speak?
My name is Leroy Terrio. Thank you for hearing us out. In regards to the city cleanup, there are some places, especially we live near Oak Avenue or Oak Lane by the access road. There's a lot of debris that's been there for months. Is the city able to pick up things that have been abandoned on the roadside to better the environment for obvious reasons? And I just wanted to make a statement on the desalination product that the Corpus Christi city manager was talking about. Folks, from my research, it is a 1-to-1 ratio of brine waste per gallon of water that's going to be produced by any desalination project. That's millions of gallons a day. It cannot go into our bay. Our bay does not have the circulation to get rid of it. It will kill our bay. And it will kill that bay for every county around here. It's not just Aransas Pass, Ingleside, Rockport, you name it. It will kill that bay. And, I'm for development of Aransas Pass. You've heard me speak on it before. But if we don't have water, folks, we're going to realize all too late. We don't operate in a dollar economy. We don't operate in a gold economy or an oil economy. We operate in a water economy. If we don't have water, we got to leave. This building and all of our homes, we got to go. So whatever, I don't want to, the city has enough problems as it is. I don't want to mire us in endless litigation with the city of Corpus Christi or Nueces County or anything like that, or the huge industrial complex that the water has been oversold to them for a number of years. And now we're having to pay the price for it. But I'm telling you, if they put that brine into that bay, this place is done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? No? Okay. All right, I don't think we need to worry about staff reports, right, Mary?
No, sir, they're submitted in written format.
Okay, all right, now we're gonna move into the consent agenda.
Well, we have an update, sir.
Oh, do we?
Under staff reports, we have an update
My
on
bad.
the Huff and Wheeler pump station.
Now, how did I miss that one? Out of all of them, how did I miss that?
I was gonna get lucky enough to.
Right.
Do you have the traffic control picture on there?
Oh, let me see. Okay,
yeah.
yes, there it is.
Scroll down. Yes, perfect. Yes, so although this is on a report or like an update, can you scroll down just a little bit more, Mary?
There's.
And zoom in to that rectangle. A little bit more to the right down.
Oh, good.
That orange rectangle in the bottom.
That one?
Yeah, if you can zoom in a little bit more.
Let me see.
Okay. So even though this is more of an update, your feedback is still valued, but this is the traffic control plan that actually got approved by and designed by an engineer, traffic control gentleman. The reason I'm bringing it up because they wanted to close the Huff and Wheeler intersection like on Wednesday of last week. I told them we wouldn't because I needed to bring it up to you guys to make sure you guys were aware of this. It is going to be closed down for a whole year. And that's the reason we're bringing it up because I want to make sure we can put it on social media, push that for about a day or two, and then they can start implementing the traffic control.
How much, do they just want to close up on the hill or right along the water, like the whole intersection?
Yeah, all the way to the water, because they're gonna do an open excavation.
Oh, they're gonna cut? Okay.
Yeah, so although this is gonna protect the contractors and the public safety, along with that comes with inconvenience, because now we have to do detours and people are gonna have to basically get used to that, because it's gonna be a very inconvenience when they're, when we used to do the hoses over the street, we used to get a lot of complaints about us barricading Huff Street, and why are we doing it, when we're gonna open it up, people just move the barricades, run over the hoses, bust them. So basically, we're gonna go back to that for about a whole year. So, I did want you guys to be informed of this, in case you guys do hear any complaints, at least you can know where it's coming from. And
Are there
if
any
you guys-
residents? I don't remember any residents
No, it's
on
not
that,
really the
in that
residents.
area.
It's people that use it as either a way to go home or to go somewhere.
Yeah, there's.
They're just
nothing.
gonna have to do a detour.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And you'll have like detour signs up, like.
Yes, Mary, if you could scroll up now. Yeah, you see, so we'll have the
Okay.
no outlet sign warning up front, on Wheeler. If you scroll up some more, Mary, we'll have some more detours, so the people will be notified, but more likely they're not gonna know until they get there and have to make a
Yeah. Just gonna be a little bit of an inconvenience for those that
Correct.
travel that area.
Yes,
Okay.
So if you guys have any comments or feedback, it's welcome.
No, I mean, if they're cutting the street, it's gotta be done.
Mm-hmm. So when do they start, David, do you know?
So I told them as soon as they could start is Wednesday, because
Wednesday,
if
okay.
you guys were okay with it, I was gonna start pushing on social media tomorrow, try to give it at least a full day, notice before we close it off.
Yeah.
But,
There's
they
a lot of
can't-
ways around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't
Yeah.
start construction until they close the street, but I told them
Right.
we wouldn't until we can get an update for you guys.
No, I'm good with it. It's gotta be done.
People just need to understand that's just the way it has to be to get us to where we gotta be,
Correct.
Yep.
where we gotta go.
Well, there's,
Yeah.
there's quite a
And-
few
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah, and I think the biggest concern is just the duration, because it'll be close to February of next year. And yeah, there's a
Yeah.
good possibility that once they do the open cut trench and they saw the pipe and patch it up, they could possibly
Have it
open,
in.
but at the same time, it's all means and methods, so it's at whatever time period they want to do it, so we can't
Right.
really force them when to do it, so just assume the worst, it'll be closed for a year, we can open it up sooner, that's even better, but
It's for a really good project.
yes.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not gonna affect the harbor at all, as far as people can still get to the harbor and get out, go
Oh, definitely.
fishing, whatever they want.
Yeah,
It's
they
not
can
gonna
go-
affect
they can
any of
go
the
through Stapp if
businesses.
Can you scroll up there?
Yeah, they'll have to just go down Stapp
Yeah,
or
so if you go down
Maddox.
Stapp, you can see, it's not
And there's
showing Stapp
Wilson.
there, but.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
show
well,
it there.
no.
They can-
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to come from Wilson.
Oh, wait,
or-
you're cutting it all the way off on.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
Maddox and Stapp will be the
Yeah,
two
I
ways to get
gotcha.
down there.
Yeah,
So
you're
if you
right.
Scroll down, Mary. So if you come to Wilson
Okay,
or
yeah.
Wheeler, you wouldn't be able to get to the
Gotcha.
harbor.
No.
But anything north of that, you would be
Yep.
able to. So it
Okay.
shouldn't really affect anybody through Stapp.
Would you have detour signs up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all these signs right here pointed, we'll have the detour signs.
And people can take railroad, I mean, even though it's not the ideal road, but they can take it all the way to Maddox and
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, so we'll have the U-turn signs
Yeah.
on right where the closure is, so in case anybody just get far enough to be like, hey, what's going on? But, other than that,
Yeah.
that's all I had.
Yeah, fine.
I mean,
Okay.
we gotta.
We gotta
Any
do it.
feedback?
Gotta do it.
Yeah,
It has to be
No,
done.
great job. Let's get it going.
happy.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
You.
Thank
you,
you.
David.
Okay, now we'll go into the consent agenda. And we need a motion for approval of regular meeting minutes, January 20th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 20th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to move into action items and be consider and act on ordinance amending Chapter 2, Division 5, Memorial Commission, Section 2-26 and Section 2-28 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Aransas Pass and providing for an effective date.
So what this action is doing, it's proposing two amendments to the ordinance for the Memorial Commission. The first one is, it's changing the composition of the membership from 4 residents to 5 residents.
Okay.
And then the other amendment is, right now it states that the board meets on a monthly basis. Well, they don't. They only meet whenever they receive an application for, to add a plaque to the Siemens Memorial. So we want to change that for them to meet as needed.
Okay.
But those are the two amendments that are being proposed.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to act on ordinance amending Chapter 2, Division 5, Memorial Commission, Section 2-26 and Section 2-28 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Aransas passed, and providing for an effective date of today, March 16th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we're going to consider an act to appoint one member to the Aransas Pass Memorial Commission to serve for a term until September 1st, 2027.
Okay, so in the previous action, we increased it to
Right.
five members, for 5 resident members. So now we have 1 vacancy to fill. That is to a term to September 1st, 2027. These appointments are made by the mayor, subject to confirmation by the council. You do have 2 applications that we received for this board. One of them is from Rebecca Burnham, and the other one came in from Sarah Perez.
Well, I just got this one today, so I mean, I don't know who this is. I mean, for me to recommend it'd be hard because I don't have a clue who this person is that turned this second one in.
Okay, well, you have 2, Rebecca Burnham and then Sarah Perez. Those are the 2.
Well, Rebecca has
it says
has
zoning.
other options. Her first
Right.
option is planning and zoning. Her second is the MDD board, and third is Memorial Coliseum. And Sarah only has 1 for Memorial Coliseum.
Okay.
I mean, commission, sorry. Call it Memorial Coliseum. I'm showing my age. Memorial Commission.
So,
I know.
so Mayor, you would nominate, and then,
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I have to nominate Sarah because that's her first pick on here.
okay. So we
Now
need a motion.
We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to nominate Sarah Perez to the Memorial Commission.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Are we going to save Rebecca's for the other ones when they come
I
up?
think,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
because I
good.
think she's got
Yeah.
2 more,
Yeah,
right?
that would be great.
Okay, now we're going to move in to consider an act on the issuance of a RFP for disaster debris removal, reduction, disposal, and other emergency services.
I think did we skip one? I think that
Did we?
President Chief Jones was gonna be coming in here, and I think that the Axon was first, and that would be David Offalter.
No, that's the next
Axon's
one.
next one.
No, that's the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the next one, chief.
Yeah, he's here. Let him do it.
Oh, I can do
Sorry
both
about
of
that.
them.
Y'all moved a little faster than I was expecting on that last one. So every year we go and renew our contract for disaster management, debris removal. This is post-hurricane, something like that, where we have to bring those big trucks and the companies in to get all the debris and everything out. We've exhausted all of our renewals on our current contract, so it's time for us to go back out for a new contract. So just seeking y'all's approval to go out for RFPs.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to consider an act on the issuance of a request for proposals for disaster debris removal, reduction, disposal, and other emergency services.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're considering an act on approving the police department to terminate its current contract with Axon and enter into a 5-year contract for $507.91.67, contingent upon approval of funding from the Crime Control and Prevention District.
Mayor, Council, our Axon contract is up October 1st. Axon provides us body-worn cameras, the fleet vehicle cameras, and the software to manage and store all of our digital evidence. Our contract's up October, however, the CCPD purchased 2 new vehicles, so we needed to add 2 more cameras to those vehicles. We found it was cheaper to end the current contract and add those cameras to a new contract with Axon than it was just to add them at the end of this contract and then renew in October. It saved us approximately, renewing early saves us approximately $50,000 over the 5 years. So that's what this is. It's completely funded by CCPD. this action is just to approve the agreement with the company. The funding comes from CCPD, which they will is on their agenda for their next meeting.
Okay.
Says approval from crime control.
Yes, the approval of the funding from crime control. This action item is just to approve the agreement.
Okay, is the price difference kind of pretty comparable to Axon?
The price difference towards competitive companies, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
It's hard to say because it's a unique product.
Gotcha.
Not only do they provide us storage, but they provide us the platform in which we provide our cases to the prosecutors.
Gotcha.
So it's not just buying a camera. It's a whole platform that we utilize to transmit digital evidence.
Okay. All right, thank you.
But it's all compatible.
Yes, we're fully integrated.
Nothing's going to
with Axon right
change.
now.
Okay.
I make a motion on approving the police department to terminate its current contract with Axon and enter into a new 5-year contract for $507,091.67, contingent upon approval of funding from the Crime Control and Prevention District.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll consider and act on a request from Aransas Pass for Youth organization for sponsorship of use of the Aransas Pass Aquatic Center for their 7-week program for student summertime activities on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. beginning June 8th, 2026 through July 23rd, 2026.
All right. So as you guys probably know, the aquatic center, which is not out of the normal, kind of runs in a deficit. So one of the things we want to do to kind of bridge the gap a little bit, and I'll talk about it more with the aquatic center fees too, but with the Aransas Pass for Youth, we've already kind of agreed on going from doing it for 4 hours to going down to 2.5. The 4 hours costs us about $12,000 in labor, going down to about 2.5. They're still going to bring all their kids. They're just going to bring them all at one time instead of doing it at 2 different blocks. So it kind of helps them and it helps us out too. So it goes from 12,000 to about 8. The other thing with that is for us to be able to kind of go forward and negotiate some kind of a fee for them to pay to use the pool. Like I said, it goes from 12 to 8, but that's still a pretty big gap. We don't want it to be some fee that's going to kind of price them out, but something is better than just 0. With that, we did want the fee to be tied to subject to a 5% increase every 2 years, just to kind of keep up with the cost. But for you guys to kind of consider an act on that or approve the fee.
So let me just add, I know in the past, Aransas Pass for Youth, they've traditionally come like on a Tuesday, which is a day that we would normally close.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed that to a day where we're already open,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is
so
that
now
correct?
we'll be open for the back half of that last hour and a half. So that helps to kind of bring that cost down. Like I said, not going to bring it to 0, but it can at least mitigate it a little bit.
Right.
And we appreciate you working with that.
Yeah.
We do.
We do have someone here from AP for Youth, Miss Joanne.
Oh, you're behind me.
Hi.
Hi.
This is my first meeting here, so I'm a little nervous. But my name is Joanna Munoz. I'm the director for Aransas Pass for Youth. I have Donald with me too.
Oh, we know that guy.
I'm on the board for Aransas Pass for Youth.
Okay, so today, yes, we are here to request an in-kind support for our upcoming 7-week program. So specifically, we are asking the city to waive facility fees for a 2-hour block, 1 day a week, to provide our youth with life-saving water safety and recreation. A little bit about Aransas Pass for Youth is, first of all, our mission for AP for Youth is to provide a safe, supervised recreation program for at-risk youth of Aransas Pass and surrounding areas. The AP for Youth program provides opportunities for children to experience positive individual and group recreation activities that enhance social skills and provide lifelong benefits, including enjoyment of literacy, respect for the environment, and skills to remain drug and crime-free. Our program, which is actually celebrating 30 years this year, remains one of the most affordable in the region. This is only possible through a unique village model of support. So we have local business sponsors, which do help provide snacks, some supplies, and some funding. We do have community organizations that do volunteer their time and resources. And then, of course, the City of Aransas Pass providing essential in-kind support through facility use. The bottom line is that city support is the bridge that keeps our registration fees low. Without this partnership, the cost of the program would likely become out of reach for many of our local working families. By the numbers, our affordability gap, while private summer camps can cost anywhere from $200 to $400 per week, our partnership allows us to offer a fraction of that rate to Aransas Pass residents. Safe environment, we provide hundreds of hours of supervised activity, keeping youth engaged and off the streets during peak summer hours. Our number one request, and I ask the kids, I've been with AP for Youth for 2 years, we do surveys not just for our parents but for our kids as well. And according to our youth surveys, the Aquatic Center is consistently the top rated activity of the summer. It's the highlight of the program, and it's been the highlight every year for every child. So for years, the City Council has been a champion for our youth by continuing this tradition of in-kind support. We are supporting our local workforce. We're allowing parents to stay employed knowing their children are safe. We're keeping kids active and outdoors at the local pool, and we're ensuring our Aransas Pass remains a family-friendly city that looks after its own.
I would just
Thank
like
you.
to add, I've been on the board for about 7 or 8 years, and so everything we do is to try to keep the cost down. One of the boards I'm on is for the Aransas Pass Independent School District on the improvement for curriculum and development, that board. And some really good information they gave us about the makeup of our community. According to the school district, at least at that time a year or two ago, 2/3 of our families are considered low income. 66% of the families are low income, and so they received that type of recognition through the school district. They had 103 kids that were considered homeless. That didn't mean they actually lived on the street, but their family didn't generate enough income for them to be able to afford housing or whatever, so they had to depend on friends or family. So that's why all of our sponsorships and then consideration from the city is so important to try to make sure we keep the cost down for these families, because that's really what our kids, they're not just the future, they're now. And so anything you guys can do for consideration for this program, it's well worth it. So how many kids do we have in that program?
It ranges. We've had, last summer we had about 140 kids. The summer before that it was 180 kids.
So if you don't support us, we're going to send them to your house.
Really quickly, I am a numbers girl. I know he did mention the 12,000. I want y'all to keep in mind that we run for 7 weeks. Last summer we used, the city council approved us for 4 hours. We utilized it for 3.5 hours. The $12,000, I've looked at the law stating how many lifeguards can be at the pool and should be at the pool. I don't I just think the numbers need to be broken down a little bit more, because at $12,000, if it's just for payroll, just for us, that's saying that you had 24 lifeguards on duty for us that were getting paid about $20 an hour. So I think the numbers do need to be broken down a little bit better. And so I'd like y'all to consider that as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess the action before you today is whether you, council wants to.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's all right. You can. There you go. There you go. Oh.
Sorry. Mayor and council members, my name is Courtney Langdon. I'm speaking tonight as a local parent of children who have attended the Aransas Pass Youth Summer Camp. First, I want to say thank you for all the work that you do for our community. I know every decision that you make has to balance budgets and resources. Tonight, I want to speak on the importance of including the best interests of our kids in those decisions. For many children in Aransas Pass, the summer camp program is one of the few structured, safe, and positive environments available during the summer months. It gives them a place to be active, socialize, and have fun. The Aquatic Center has been a large part of that experience for years. It gives the kids something healthy and fun to look forward to, especially during our hot Texas summers. For a lot of us, it's one of the few opportunities our children have to enjoy something like that regularly. I understand that staffing and operational costs are being considered. However, I hope the council will also consider the value of investing in the children of our community. Well, when the city supports programs like this, even through something as simple as allowing access to the aquatic center at no cost, it sends a powerful message that Aransas Pass values its children and the importance of providing them with a sense of what the community can provide. It's about giving kids positive experiences in the place that they call home. Partnering with AP for Youth the way the city has in previous years would continue something that has clearly worked and benefited families in Aransas Pass. Sometimes the return on investment is not measured in dollars. When kids grow up feeling supported by their community, they grow up wanting to give back to it. I respectfully ask the council to consider continuing this partnership and helping make the aquatic center accessible for the summer camp again this year.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I guess finish it off. The 12,000, just so you guys know, it does factor in their benefits too. So that's kind of what buffs it up a little bit, and then the guys that work at the front desk. So not just all lifeguards, but as far as the fee goes, that's for you guys to decide.
Right.
It's just an added deal. If you don't want to, that's fine. Like I said, they're already kind of saving this money by going from 4 to 2. So that's up to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I think the biggest
Vote.
question, Mary, is what can we do? I mean, are we okay to?
I mean, it's up to the council whether you want to waive it. The request from AP for Youth is to waive it. They did go from a Tuesday, which is a day that we were not open, to a day that we're already open, which is on Thursdays. And they did reduce the hours from 4 to 2 hours.
Okay. And then we've waived it every year in the past, correct?
In the past, yes, ma'am, it has been waived.
Should be cheaper because they're not
I
having to
mean,
bring in
I
employees
know
when
we're-
it's closed.
Well, we're already going down to only being open 4 days.
Right.
I think that's
I know
coming.
that we're in a bind, but we can't let the kids
No.
Yeah.
be the
I agree.
cost of that. You know what I mean? We just
I
can't.
agree.
Well, and like
So-
she said, it's not always measured in dollars.
Yeah.
Like we need
No,
to
I
think
mean,
about our kids.
And I appreciate y'all moving it to Thursday because that really
Yeah.
that really was detrimental for us. So I don't think we have a choice. So I guess I'll make a motion then.
Okay.
Where are we at? Sorry, I got one more tab.
9-4.
Okay, sorry. Make a motion to approve the request from the Aransas Pass for Youth Organization for sponsorship of use of the Aransas Pass Aquatic Center for their 7-week program for student summertime activities on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. beginning June 8th, 2026 through July 23rd, 2026.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Great job, guys.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
All
y'all.
opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll move into consider and act on ordinance amending the code ordinance of amending the fee schedule for use of the Aransas Pass Aquatic Center and providing for an effective date.
Is that the one you want?
Yeah, that one will work.
Okay.
All right, so kind of same deal here. It's kind of trying to bridge the gap a little bit. Tried to make it somewhat easy to read. All the bumps and prices are really, if you want to scroll down, Mary. None of them are super great except for a few that I want to highlight. So the exercise class, that was a $10 bump. The pass is one of the ones I want to talk about. So for the full season pass, going up to $250, so it's still giving you about 40% less than what you would normally pay for the full deal. The exercise only pass, once again, it's kind of just to cover the cost of doing it is what we're trying to get at with some of this stuff. And then what's crossed out in blue was essentially a rental format that we weren't really using. So we just kind of coupled it in with the private party, and then it can be split up from there as far as our cabana rentals and things like that we do with that. One thing that we did add that I want to bring up that's new and different is the off-season rental. So we open in May and then we close in September, but obviously it's still a little bit hot on both sides of those. So we did want to allow for off-season rentals for any schools, groups, anything like that would want to use it. But with that, obviously the kids we use our lifeguards are mostly kids. So it's a little bit hard for us to find staff. So this is one of those ones we definitely want to make sure we at least make the cost where it comes out to zero, where we're not losing money off of it. So that's why those are a lot higher than the other private party rentals. So like I said, that's something new. It should generate just a little bit of revenue for the pool, like I said, to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, but it's still not too far out of the ordinary. And then going down to our private parties, kind of same deal there, just helping with the labor cost. We did cost analysis to make sure we're not too far one way or the other. This kind of puts us right on par with everyone else who has a similar facility. I will say it's kind of cool. We are a smaller community, but we do have a pretty big facility. So it made the cost analysis a little tough, but that's about as best as we can come up with without it going too far over to the right.
Looks good.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Okay, well, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to consider an act on an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, amending the fee schedule for use of the Aransas Pass Aquatic Center and providing for an effective date of today, March 16th.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to confirm, is the daily rate going up, not just the
No,
pass rate? So
just
the daily
really
rate
just
is
passes.
staying?
The only other thing that's on there, I guess that's different, and it's really more so just, I don't know if it was a typo or what, but there's like a gap between the ages of like 3 and 4. There's just no price for them. So that's the only thing at the top up there where it says child 5 to 17. It used to just say 0 to 2, and there was no 3 and 4. So he had some questions about that, so it's just a fix right there, but other than that, it's all the same. So we tried to just increase things that are program-wise, things that people have an option for, but we didn't want to increase the daily usage.
Okay, everybody good? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
now we will consider an act to award for request for proposals for a postcard-style public mural at 361 South Commercial Street to Jennifer Seymour, mural artist, for a cost not to exceed $9,000.
Yes. So back on December 15th, the council approved the issuance of a request for proposals for a postcard mural at 361 South Commercial. We went out, we issued the RFP, we received five proposals, and staff is recommending that we award the bid to Ms. Jane Seymour. She is, her proposal came in at $9,000. If you rank them, they range anywhere between $9,000 to $37,000. She is from the Corpus Christi area, so staff is recommending that we award it to Ms. Jane Seymour. She did. She is flexible with the mural. She, I know that if you look at the mural now, it does include, I guess those are bubble letters. We want to do block letters, so she was open to that. I believe she, the size of the letters are going to range between 5 to 6 feet. So that's our recommendation. We will be using hot funds for this project.
When would we meet with her to make the changes and kind of tweak it a little?
Once the council approves, I
Make a meeting.
hope to meet with her sometime this week so that
Oh,
we
that'd
can
be
get
great.
this moving.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Things
too. It looks
neat
nice.
looking.
Looks
Yeah, I
freaking
think it's
awesome.
gonna be cool.
Neat.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Well,
Okay, I make a motion to approve, let me see where we're at. Sorry. Make a motion to approve, to award the request for proposals for the postcard-style public mural at 361 South Commercial Street to Jennifer Seymour, mural artist, for a cost not to exceed $9,000.
okay, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I just have a comment, just so that we don't forget, letting the property owner just
Approve
look
before they
yeah.
start.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, I have been in contact with him. In
Okay,
fact, I was in
great.
contact with him last week.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
That's it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries.
Yay.
Okay, now we're moving to consider an act on an ordinance amending the city code of ordinances by adding Chapter 3 alcoholic beverages, Article 1 dash in general, Article 2 sip and stroll district, creating a sip and stroll district, providing rules, hours of operation, signage requirements, enforcement, and an effective date.
And for the record, Councilmember Martin has signed a conflict of interest, so she will not be participating or voting on this item.
Gone. I don't know if she left.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So, as far as the ordinance goes, nothing really is changing. What this amendment is doing is basically clarifying the verbiage a little bit more in detail. Some of the things that is being clarified is the type of containers that can be used for this district. Another item was the enforcement aspect of it. What exactly is the repercussion if you're caught breaking any of the rules or getting a violation from this ordinance, which was with the help of PD. And then the hours of operation, we needed to put some clarification on there as far as not only the normal business hours, but also the hours that the city approves for items like the art walk or any
festivals.
other events that end up being in that district. And I believe that is it.
Now, I had this brought up, and I think me and Elise talked about this a few weeks ago. Since this is pretty much creating an open container law in town, what about people down at the boat ramp or somewhere down in that area?
It's already, we have an open
makes that
container law for
clarification.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but will this change that since we're designating everything?
Oh, I see what you're saying, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. This guy right here ought to know.
I'll go ahead and jump in.
Yeah.
Chief Perkins and I looked at the ordinance in detail, and we wanted to clarify that because we were afraid that this was going to have effects on the city outside of that district,
Right.
which I don't think was the initial vision of the council.
Yep.
So with this revision, we clarified the wording in it to specify these things are applicable to that area only, so it's not changing anything else outside of just that district.
Okay, well, you're smarter than me at this, so that's why you're
Thank
talking
you.
about it. Thanks, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
We did make it also where the open container, the glass container.
Yeah.
Is even after hours, it's a 24-hour deal within that district. So you cannot have an open, you can't have a glass container.
No glass containers.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
365.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Okay, well, do we have a motion on this one?
I'll make a motion to consider an act on an ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances by adding Chapter 3 Alcoholic Beverages, Article 1 in general, Article 2 Sip and Stroll District, creating a Sip and Stroll District, providing rules, hours of operation, signage requirements, enforcement, and an effective date of today, March 16th.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll consider an act on approving Ferguson Enterprises for providing drainage materials for Jackson Place drainage for.
Hold on, okay,
Oh,
hold on.
We
Oh.
we got to let
we
her
See,
gotta
I
go back in.
forgot
We need to go
again.
get Miss Martin.
I forgot again.
Okay.
My bad. You'll get to talking a little bit, David.
Is it bid tab at the bottom? Or no?
Oh,
I don't remember. No, scroll down. It's the same one.
I
We
don't
can scroll
think-
down a little bit.
I don't think, oh.
Yeah,
okay,
right
it
there.
is, okay.
Okay.
Hey, Evening, Mayor and Council. This has actually been years in the making. This project, when had some development coming up where the Rhodes, Beasley, and Saunders subdivision was at, where that area was at, there was a lot of people from the public who were against it because it had drainage problems. So when I started looking into it, I saw there was a undeveloped drainage system that was tied into commercial. Although that is the county land or the jurisdiction, it directly affects City of Lorenz's residents. So that's where we basically took charge. We got it engineered, but we're gonna do this project in-house. So this bid is just to get materials, it's just drainage materials, it's piping, a head wall, and I think a couple of other parts here and there. We got 2 bids, which is Ferguson and Weston Water Cooler. And Ferguson is usually the supplier that we deal with, and they were the lowest bidder. So at this point, I just need authorization to move forward to purchase the materials so the Public Works Street Department can install the pipe.
And I guess everybody knows this is all paid for by the Drainage District, correct? Okay.
Have we reached out to the county, see if they'll help in the cost of this?
Well, they are reimbursing. The San Patricio Drainage will reimburse
Okay.
our expenses.
Okay.
I think it's been a while since we've asked for reimbursement, so I don't know if
Right.
that accumulates over time or not, but I think the last time we asked for reimbursement was when we cleaned the McCampbell ditch,
Yep.
which was literally 3 years ago.
Mhm.
I don't believe we've asked for funding since then, so I'm
Oh,
hoping it should cover
I don't
it.
think so.
But we will confirm anyway before we pull the trigger and get a PO approved.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
we'll make sure
David.
everything's secured.
Okay. Okay, do we have a motion?
I
I'll
make a
make-
motion.
Go ahead.
On approving Ferguson Enterprises for providing drainage materials for Jackson Place Drainage for $108,768.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, now we're going to convene an executive session. And first item, Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce audit. Item 2, potential Brown Harbor release, M&L and M&R Real Estate Investments LLC. And number 3, potential Brown Harbor release, Redfish Bay Marina LLC, and it is 8:01 p.m. Okay, we're gonna reconvene in open session. It is 9:13 PM. And there is no action to be taken. Meeting adjourned. Damn, at least that one was quick. 5.